Hello and welcome to another section in further maths. In this section we'll be looking at ratios of general angle. But before we proceed, I'd like us to do a quick review of our previous lesson. Okay, welcome back. Now if you want to talk about ratios of general angles, it has to do with expression of how angles are being designed. For example, we said we have 4 cardinal points. This is the y-axis, the positive x-axis, this is the negative x-axis, and this is the negative y-axis. Now with this, let's produce a circle from here. Let's call this a circle. Now with this points that we have here, and let's call this an arc, a point with this theta. Okay, at this point is our point x, this is point y, and let's call the resultant of x and y to be b. Let's call it b. Now with this point is called, in angles, this is called the first quadrant, this is called the second quadrant, the third quadrant, this is the third quadrant, and this is the fourth quadrant. Now when you talk about all these quadrants, there's something I want us to note. This is the positive y-axis and this is the positive y-axis. So in this point, remember the rule. We are looking for sine theta, cos theta, and tan theta. So in this point, the value of our sine theta is equal to, remember our normal, so so the value of sine theta is now opposite over hypotenuse. Now this theta opposite is y over hypotenuse, b. For cos theta we have adjacent, which is x, over hypotenuse, which is also b. Then for tan theta we have opposite, which is y, all over adjacent, over x. So from this point you discover that everything here is positive and there is no marginalization of any number. So for example, if you are being told to find the value of sine 37, it's just equivalent to 0.6018 with a positive value. Now if you are being told to get the value of cos 75, all you just need is to punch it and you have 0.2588. and if you are being told to get the value of tan 62, you now have it as 1.881. This for the first quadrant. This is the relationship of the first quadrant. Now I want us to go to the second quadrant. Let's head to the second quadrant. Remember our points. Now this is the second quadrant, and we project it from here and bring it down. This is the value of our theta. So this point is our positive y because it's still in the upper part, but our x here is minus x, and we still have our b at this point. Remember, this is y, this is minus x, this is x, and this is minus y. Now from this, let's start looking for what we have. You know, from here to here, the whole of this point to this point, sum of angle in a straight line is 180. So here to here is 180 minus this theta. So if you are looking for, in the second quadrant, angles are being represented as 180 minus theta, because you're considering from here to where the point where the line is, not even the theta itself. Theta is from here to here, but our interest is from here to this point. So this is now 180 minus theta. So in this quadrant, we discover that sine theta is equal to, remember, opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite of this is y over hypotenuse is b. Cos theta is now equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. Where is the adjacent? Minus x all over hypotenuse b. That's to say, if the value of cos in the second quadrant is negative, and second quadrant starts from 90 to 180, so the cosine of any number from 91 to 180 must have a negative value. And we also have the third part of it that says tan theta being equal to opposite over adjacent. The opposite of theta is y, and the adjacent of theta is minus x. So the value of x of tan is also minus. This is to tell you that the value of the tangent of any number from 91 to 180, you must have a negative value. So let's go into solving some question. In the second quadrant, it's only sine that is positive, but in the first quadrant, all the numbers are positive. Why in the second quadrant is only sine? This order two assumes a negative value. So with this, if you're being given a question like sine 143, to look for the value, remember we are dealing with theta minus 180 minus theta, and you have 143. What you need to do at this point is to write it as sine 180 minus 143, which is equal to sine 37, and it will give you the same value of 0.6018. Okay, this is sine, so sine will be a positive value because it's in the second quadrant, positive. Now if you have cos, let's say cos 115, it's equal to the cosine of 180 minus 115, so which is the same thing as minus the cosine of 115 is 65. So we now have minus 0.4226. Now for the last part of this, tan theta equal to y over minus x. So let's do that of tan 125. Tan 125 will now be equal to let's do it as the tan of 180 minus 125, which is equal to minus the tan of 55, and our value becomes minus 1.428. Now with what you're seeing right in front of you, you always believe me that in the second quadrant, it is only sine of an angle that assumes a positive value, but the others will definitely have a negative value. All I have to say is thank you for being part of today's lesson. We'll be looking forward to having you in our next lesson. Thank you.